Hey friends and all the rest of you. I'm here in a shop. I'm actually today putting in electricity, wiring up this panel, and anyway, it's been fun. But I wanted to talk to you about something because I had a hearing with the court today in this bankruptcy, and just give those of you who don't know, I was sued for $53 million on a defamation lawsuit. I basically stood up for a baby Cyrus. You might have heard of him. It's a pretty big case. And the hospital got mad at me, so they basically used their, millions of dollars to sue me. And I didn't appear in the case, and they ended up getting a $53 million lawsuit. So anyway, they've been chasing me, and before I filed bankruptcy, I had 6 teams of attorneys in 5 different states and 9 different courts litigating against me. Just trying to destroy me, my family. So we moved out of Idaho. They took title of my home. They took all the shares of my businesses and seized all my bank accounts. And so that's what's been going on. It's been a lot of fun, One thing for sure, when I was younger, I did not want to lead a boring life, and I haven't. So that's about one good thing I could say. Anyway, but this hearing was really interesting because what happened was St. Luke's, this is St. Luke's health system in Idaho. I filed the bankruptcy papers, and then I listed the things that I was wanting exempt. Basically the things that my family needed in order to survive without too much hardship. And that was my work vehicle, my tools, my wife's transportation. She transports the kids to and from school. And we live 30 miles out of town. And so my tools and a little bit of cash, because we're on a cash basis because we don't have a bank account. So that was important. And our clothing. And that was pretty much it. I did list my home that they already took in Idaho. That was kind of more me just making a point. But I did list it, so I need to say that as well. And St. Luke's, after I filed that, they filed a motion with the court objecting to us keeping anything, not even our clothes. Everything. They objected to us keeping anything. And so I filed a motion or a response to their objection and said, hey, look, I have now 5 times officially offered to give St. Luke's everything if they would just leave us alone, And I said, so in this response to the court, I said, so St. Luke's can take it all if the court's okay with it. But I'm just asking that they leave me alone. Well, so today was a hearing. Sorry, I needed to unconnect this battery. Look at this thing. It's exploding. So I needed to disconnect it so it didn't completely explode. When I was a young man, I actually had a battery blow up in my face, and it burnt my eyes, and it wasn't a very fun experience. They flushed my eyes for like 2 hours with saline. Anyway, don't want that to happen again. So back to this hearing. So I filed a response to St. Luke's response about them wanting to take everything from me. And I said, if the court's okay with it, it'll be very hard for us at the beginning, but if the court allows it, then come get it. And so they had a hearing today. And it was very interesting because the trustee in the case, so he's the one that the court appoints to handle all the assets. Well, St. Luke's is going after him too, and he had to get an attorney. This is the trustee. He had to get an attorney to represent him, to protect him. So even the U.S. trustee attorney had to get an attorney for counsel for him because of St. Luke's going after him. And I think that's because he wouldn't just give them everything that they wanted of my information. So anyway, I don't know exactly why, but that's what I think. So now this hearing, I'm getting to this hearing. This hearing was interesting because St. Luke's gets up there. Well, the trustee explains who his attorney is and what he's doing. And the St. Luke's gets up there and they begin again to say that they basically are objecting to me to keep everything or anything, that they want to take it all. And then the judge went on for a little while, and then the judge allowed me to speak. And I basically said the same thing. I said, if the court is not going to protect me, if they're going to, just not protect me, then, I've already said it. I've already offered it, and so St. Luke's can come get it. And hopefully that'll move things along. Well, then the judge began to proceed and say how he felt like I needed an attorney. And, I could, in one way, get that because I'm not like putting up this big defense. And I made it clear that the last thing I want to do is get another attorney. So I want to clarify a little bit. St. Luke's had, I think, 4, maybe 5 attorneys in this hearing. And then we had the trustee, who's an attorney, and his attorney. And we had the judge. So, now, on this case alone, and this case, is significant, I guess, for them. We've got, 8, 9 attorneys? And the judge is like, we want you to go get an attorney and so that he can represent you. And I said, absolutely not. The last thing I want to do is pay an attorney $100,000 to, in the end, just have the debt discharged or whatever. That's been my experience with attorneys. Or they make a deal with the other attorneys, sometimes without you even knowing. But more importantly, they'll drag this thing on for who knows how long, because all of them, especially those attorneys at Holland and Hart who are getting paid by St. Luke's, they're going to drag this on. They've been billing, thousands and thousands of hours at thousands of dollars to St. Luke's. So I told the judge I have no intention at all of getting an attorney, and, there's no need. I told him I've been litigating, back and forth in these courts for the last 10 years, and, I know the game. I understand. I intentionally am not, trying to put up a huge fight, because in the end, I'm just wanting the judge to make a decision whether he's going to discharge the debt or not. And, I've lost my home. I've lost my businesses, lost multiple revenues, and lost, everything else. If I lose a couple of vehicles and some clothes and a little bit of cash and, my tools, it'll hurt, yeah. But, I'll get back on my feet quick. I could do that. So I'd rather just see this over. And that's my logic behind it. So anyway, you would think that he would say, well, the creditor or the debtor. And by the way, I don't owe anybody anything. I've always paid my bills, always run my finances correct. And I've never, not paid somebody that I owed. And now somehow St. Luke's thinks that I owe him $53 million. And that is all. That's the only creditor, if you will, in the lawsuit against me. It's only one. That's it. So it tells you what's going on. This is not about finance. This is about a political attack. And they've used the courts to do it. And in the most sense, I've allowed them to, because I'm exposing the courts too, to show you what they'll do to a person, because there's no really defense of the individual's rights anymore. So anyway, so what did the judge do? And I maybe it was in good intent, but I don't know, because what he did is he set an evidentiary hearing on this matter, on the objections. On this matter, he set an evidential hearing in person down in St. George. So every attorney is going to have to travel down there, and it's probably going to go on most of a day. Who knows, maybe even 2 days the way these things go. And all of them are going to be billing all these hours, and the judge is going to be getting paid. And so and now there's 45 more days that, my family has to go through this. And who benefits? The only ones that benefit are the lawyers and the judge. I mean, that's it. And it reminds me of the scripture that says that the lawyers were inciting the people and things to create employment. Well, that's what's happening here. And so, I got a couple things I'm going to do. And I'll, file in the court and so forth. And I don't want to mention that now, but I just want to. And the only ones that win in our system now are the judges and the lawyers. And, that's pretty much it. Those who have enough money to pay them. And that's just the way it is. It's not about justice. And one thing to think about before I let you go, because I'm going to end this pretty quick, is if the court, and this is why I've done a lot of what I've done. If the court is just and the law is just, meaning if the law is just and the court is upholding that, then what does anybody need an attorney for? Like, if justice is going to be administered in the court, and if the law is just, then what does anybody need an attorney for? You only need an attorney if justice is not going to happen in the court, and if the law is not just. Because then he's got to try to somehow manipulate and maneuver and, go back and forth to try to find some type of relief for you. But if justice was really a mainstay of the court, if it's really what was happening there, and if the law was really just, we wouldn't need lawyers. So think on that for a little while. Thank you for your time. I just thought I'd give you this update. And God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.